Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, boys and girls, and all ships at sea. Here's another unique sociological commentary from yours truly, the old thug, El Papi Swing. But anyway, back at the ranch, it's amazing, our society. There's a good documentary on Netflix. It's called Broken, dealing with certain aspects, not political, but like plastic, how we're really screwing up our environment. It's a topic that needs to be addressed, should have been addressed years ago. More so with that thing which is really screwing up our environment called plastic. This bottle and juice I bought the other day from our local supermarket chain. I reused it. You know when you buy cold cuts, it comes in a little thing, you lift it up, plastic. I reuse them for my leftovers. Works for me. But anyway, to make a long story short, I've been informed by the popo, meaning Facebook police, that I can only do 3 posts. Now, I'm not talking about my unique sociological commentaries videos. I got over on that one. I set up a sort of like another Facebook site, blog so to speak, so it's personal blog. So whatever I say, it's irrelevant. They can't block me. It's called Speaking the Truth or something to that effect. But anyway, I always say the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. But it's funny how our legal system, our court system, is so biased. Now, people always say, well, the justice system is really screwed. Guys getting sentenced up for 10-year rap, 20-year bid, 5-year bid, turn out to be innocent. True. But the ones that really need to be addressed on that are prosecutors. They're like Marine Corps or Armed Forces recruiters. They're only interested in their numbers, not necessarily in truthful verdict. And it's unfortunate. People say, well, our prisons are overrun. Here in the United States, we imprison more of our citizens than any other country in the world, which is true. But you got to understand that the prison system in this country is a profit system. I'll give you an example. Joe Blow got a 3-year bid. All right. He does his 3-year bid. Right? Outstanding. Let's say state prison, California, Louisiana, Georgia, whatever. He's working. Now, that's another thing, but we'll get into that later. Now, his family sent him a care package. Right? They put, maybe his sister sends him $50, goes into his commissary list. A brother in Kansas sends him 60. Boom. Now, you can't buy cigarettes in prison anymore. But he orders a Snicker. Now, the Snicker might be $1.25 in the commissary, prison commissary, where the prison gets it, obviously wholesale, Costco, whatever, for 30 cents. It's a hell of a profit. Wants deodorant, so he's smelling good. I want to be Funky Joe. Costs him $3. They get it wholesale, $1.25. So just do the math of what the markup is for prison inmates. It really sucks. Now, I posted a comment a couple of weeks back about using prisoners outside labor forces. Back in the day, of course, we used to have chain gangs. I actually seen that when I was down in North Carolina, stationed at Camp Lejeune. Them boys bust their asses. But I'm saying is that prison per se is just that. Prison. It does nothing with respect to rehabilitation. Forced rehabilitation, meaning you came in stupid, 8th grade education, we give you the aptitude test, your reading skills are screwed, we're going to improve on you. So when you're released from prison, you become a useful part of society. Welding, culinary. Now, of course, giving knives in the kitchen classes to inmates might prove somewhat of a problem. But why overcrowd prisons? All you got to do is build more and have less prisoners in prison. Educate the personnel. Have rehabilitation courses, reading, GEDs, even college. Why not? Get a degree in social work. Who would know more how to be a better social worker than a guy that's been in prison? Because of lack of social work or social services personnel to help them. Maybe he came from a one-parent family, domestic abuse, and all this other garbage. Once you educate the mind, right? Give them a new lease on life. You paid your debt to society. You're out the door, kid. But you're better equipped to deal with society. Society has an obligation for those individuals that have been released to prison to make sure they can fit back into prison. Now, unless you did, the categories of prisons. Now, recently, two politicians resigned, getting imprisoned, fraud, inside trading. That dude was in New York. Now, these clowns go to a white-collar prison. Screw them in the horse they rode on. As Sammy Davis Jr. used to say, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Works for me. We need to have fairness in our society. I've been reading, matter of fact, here in Iowa, some numbnut said he was intimidated because he's gay. Now, ain't nothing wrong with being gay, I guess. That's between you and God. He'll take care of you later. But anyway, to make a long story short, they did the interview with this clown. I had on TV. Man, you should have called this guy Flaming Frank. Now, if you're gay, so be it. But when you go outside the door of your home, you know there's a certain element of society that's going to look at you. I don't look good with pink hair. I like my color. But the point is, don't be so... We do have freedom here. Freedom to express yourself. I mean, you got guys walking around with tattoos on their face and all that garbage. Personally, if you ain't Samoan or Polynesian, those are the ones that have the tattooed. Africans that mark their face. It's a form of manhood. But our society is so unique. A neighbor who lives upstairs got arrested. Him and his wife take care of 3 grandsons. One is, I think, 10. But the other day, neighbor A was taking their little rugrat to school. Kids acting up, being a real dickhead, for lack of saying penis head. So the old man did what he had to do. Take the belt off, man. The sound of leather strapping out of a pair of Wranglers. Whack, whack, whack. He didn't abuse the kid. I was waiting for the bus to go to the VA. Smacked him twice. Pop, 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 pop. Got over it. The kid straightened up and flew right. Lo and behold, a police officer cruising saw this. Flashed the boom, boom, lights. Could you imagine they arrested this guy? They allowed him to take the kid to school. Came out and they locked his ass. Well, they arrested him. You can't give corporal punishment to a kid. Now, the logic for that, fix the problem when it's a little problem, instead of having to go see the kid 20 years later when he's 23 years old doing a 5-year bid, a 10-year bid, or a 20-year bid. Fix the tree so it doesn't grow bent. Fix the tree so it grows strong and tall and straight. Works. Our society really needs to go back to the old formats. I'll give you an example. My pop, may he rest in peace, go out, give me that look, that Puerto Rican father look. That was enough to get me squared away. Now my mom, on the other hand, being Puerto Rican mothers, they gave me the toma attack, the pinch in public. Smack you up beside the head, and I'm talking about a smack. And when a Puerto Rican smacks you, that head goes, whoom, oh. Then when you get home, she F you up again. But I can assure you, that treatment probably kept me out of a prison. But we don't do that anymore. We can't do that anymore. Kids now have a little stress card. It's bad enough when you go to boot camp. I was reading that in the Marine Corps, they used to have the card, stress card. I think they still do it in other military branches, like the Air Force. Jesus H. Christmas. How stressed can you be in Air Force boot camp? I went through it 5 years after I left the Marine Corps. A piece of cake. But anyway, our society has become so unique. Kids don't play. My two grandsons down in Texas, Ren and Stimpy. They ride the bikes now. They don't have training wheels. I'm waiting to see a picture or a video that my daughter or my ex-wife sends me of the kids riding their bikes wrapped in bubble wrap in case they fall. It's impressionable. It's impressionable. Now, when I was stationed down in Florida, I was stationed at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa. And sometimes I would ride my bike to go into the base. I lived right on Southwest Shore Boulevard. About a 12, 15-minute bike ride. I was in uniform. So the MP waved me on, go into the hospital and do what I had to do as a medic. But it is amazing that in our society now, parents, grandparents, uncles, godfathers, whatever, are held by what you can't do. So if little Elmer ends up doing a bid, let me stop this too. My brother from another, Big John in Florida, yeah, I had a good Thanksgiving. Had it all by myself. Had me some arroz y gandules, evité. Chilled out, gave thanks, and I give thanks every day. But anyway, going back to the point is that we're losing control. And by the lack of control that we're forced not to give to our youth, we are, in effect, corrupting the future. More little dumbasses going to prison. Unfortunately. Our society, we're becoming so homogenized, pasteurized, sanctified, it's screwed up. Everybody in that dead Uncle Joe's got labels. Give you an example. Now, not, a lot of people ain't going to like this. I had a cousin. He's dead now. My Uncle Hector had a son, Carlito. This guy was flaming up the yin-yang. Anyway, one summer, he stayed with my parents and me in Patterson. That's Patterson, New Jersey. But anyway, he stayed with us, right? He was about 16 at the time. I don't know, I must have been 12, 13, whatever. He was older than me. And I remember the conversations between fathers, or cousins in this case. My cousin Hector my Uncle Hector used to beat the shit out of the guy, get him squared away. But then again, the problem with that, he was the only son. Had 3 daughters, 3 girls. He was the youngest. So they babied his ass. And what was the result? Flaming Frank. I'm not saying that because of the upbringing he was flaming. He probably would have been flaming regardless of the fact. But in Puerto Rico, he had a salon, had 2 of them. And he was a hairdresser and all this. Businessman. He was doing okay. But because of the treatment that he was getting, it effed him up here in the head. But anyway, to make a long story short, this clown died of AIDS. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. I'm not saying that one thing led to another, but maybe if my uncle would have taken a different tack with the guy, take him fishing, shoot him pool, a couple of postupolos, houses of ill repute, crack that nut, Fred. But anyway, who's to say? Who's to say? But as parents, we do have a sociological responsibility to sort of make sure that that tree sapling grows strong and straight, if you follow my drift. But, it is what it is, man. But when you get a 10-year-old kid that's a YouTube thing, a YouTube vlogger, and he's a cross-dresser or a trans queen, the hell they call those guys? Cross-dresser, there we go. Drag queen. Come on, 10-year-old kid, give me a break. As I say, drag his ass to a Dairy Queen and beat the fuck out of him. Motivate him, take him fishing, shooting pool, hanging out with boys at the local bar. Now that's another thing. My mom and pop used to go to a local bar in Patterson. I'll never forget the guy. He was an Italian guy named Angelo. We used to go shoot pool, place, what the hell they call those? Like skeet. Had a long table, discs. Have root beer. That's it. I used to drink beer at an early age. That was root beer. And a boot black would come in, shine boots. Boom, 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 boom. You can't do that anymore. But yet you can go to Applebee's with mom and dad, get plastered, order a pizza, stuff your fat face with food that doesn't do your arteries any good, and you're good to go. Sometimes I sort of long for those thrilling days of yesteryear, where men were men, women were women, and pretty damn glad of it. But it is what it is. Our political system is rather unique. Unfortunately, Kamala Harris is throwing in the bra. Throwing in the towel, and she's hanging it up like a bad debt. Not that she ever had a chance, per se. That's like this guy, Mayor Pete. He seems to be on the top of the list now. He's a top contender. Now, back in my time, top contender, you were a boxer. I don't think this guy could box his way out of a paper bag. But needless to say, it is what it is. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Tulsi Gabbard, who has a pretty good background, she is military active duty, did 2 tours in Afghanistan. I think Mayor Pete did too. That's what we need, individuals that know about the hazards of our foreign policy. Now, going on foreign policy, Pompeo, that idiot, made a conference that the United States will no longer be stating that the Israeli further occupation of the West Bank is illegal. By international law, idiot, it is illegal. The land is not Israel's. But no politician has the balls, the testicles, or the internal fortitude to say anything publicly against Israel. Considering that the Republicans and the Democrats are both in their pockets, and AIPAC, that's AIPAC, funnels money through not-for-profit foundations to both parties and mutual and candidates. So logically, whoever wins, whether it's Democrat, Republican, AIPAC has got that sucker on the rope. We need to get rid of foreign politics, foreign lobbyists, I must add, in our political system. Make it crime where you can't have any international governments or lobbyists. That includes AIPAC and the Saudis and the food industry. Now, going back to the food industry, if you look at this Netflix documentary called Broken, you'll see that going back to lobbyists, big petroleum concerns want to push plastic. Now, plastic is not derived it's from what? Do the Googling. What do they make plastics out of? And that is what's harming our environment, our government, our land. You gotta look at this documentary. It's outstanding. Matter of fact, it's rather scary. Well, I'm gonna make me some dumplings, arroz y gandules, chill out, got my botella de Malta, and just further intellectualize myself. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I did. Then again, I give thanks every single day for whatever I have. I don't single out one day just to give thanks. Alhamdulillah. To my daughter in Texas, hope you got what daddy sent you. To my children, my son Carmelo, Dolores, Elaine, I love you all very much, regardless of what your respective mothers said about me. Do the math, kid. Open your eyeballs. And I say this publicly. If I was that much of an asshole as a father, the good Lord wouldn't have blessed me with my two little ones or my other daughter, Alondra. But women can be cruel. God only knows. But it's all good. I held no gripe. I can't say nothing bad about them because they were the women that brought me my children as a gift. You know, it's rough being a poppy swing. As my old adage used to state, too many women, too little time. But if there's reincarnation, I will learn next time to keep my pants up. God bless the Marine Corps and Chesty Puller. And another thing, if I hear one more stupid Christmas song or Christmas commercial, I'm going to throw, well, not that I'm going to throw a shoe at my TV, but man, they can carry it too damn far. But anyway, have a good day. God bless. Assalamu alaikum to my brothers. Big Al, if you're out there, brothers, get in touch with your family, man. They're really worried about you. To my other crime partners, Big Craig, Big Larry, Big Tony. I got a buddy of mine, Tony Baxter. He's got this voice. He's about, he's about 6'1", black dude, heavyset kid, heavyset man. And he's got this voice, it's gravelly. What's up, brother? But when he laughs, man, he lights up the room with that laughter. But if you are listening, Tony, God bless you, brother. I love all you thugs. Good guys. You know, it's funny how sometimes you become closer to friends, especially with veterans, than what you are to your so-called family. And I do say so-called. Oh, that's all right. It's all good. I still got to live my life. Well, Big John, I forgot, Big John. Another young thug down in Florida. I wish you the best. Much success with your business. Hope you're doing well, brother. God bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.